Rory, I think it's been like about 2 weeks since we've last talked, it seems. Is that right? Or
It feels like a long time. I'm not sure it actually is, but
okay.
Oh, how sweet.
Uh, Thanks, Amanda. So I'm going to try and go through this faster than 60 minutes. I think I'll be able to do that. I always want to give that caveat at the very beginning when I'm about to enter into an area of expertise that I actually have, very little, and this is one of those areas. MVC is not an area that I program in regularly, so I've asked Mehul to come in here with me, and so hopefully with his help, we will get through this. Near the end of this, I have a set of new templates that I'm going to give you a link to, and we'll, if you're listening to this in a recorded state, not listening to it live, we'll have a link there by the video where you can download these templates, and they're templates for working with the DevExpress MVC extensions, and so we think you'll like that if you work with the DevExpress MVC extensions. So, okay, so with 10.2, CodeRush introduced a number of features to make it easier to write MVC code. There are features for declaring MVC actions, controllers, and views, as well as navigating, jumping to the actions, the controllers, and the views. We've also integrated the navigation features into tab to next reference. So if you are on a controller, for example, you can hit the tab key and jump to all the references of that controller, including references inside strings, and we'll show you that in a bit. And we've also added a code issue that can detect if an MVC view is not declared and needs to be. So let's go in. Let's look at. Let's start by creating an action, and we'll look at some of the templates that are new, and from that action, we will then go and use some of the declaration features as well. So, so to create a new action link, I can type in AL and then the space bar, and that will create a new action link. I can specify the text of the link, like click me. I can specify the action name. We'll call this like the super click. And if you're not familiar with CodeRush templates, these orange boxes around the text that I'm entering are called fields. And so the template I expanded by typing in the just AL, the name of the template, AL, and then I hit the spacebar to expand it. Once I've filled out a field, I just hit enter, and it takes me to the next location. So I'm not using the arrow keys or the shift keys to select. And then the name of the controller, we can specify, for example, home, or maybe even better, let's say our super controller, like that. And then I can hit enter to get out of that. So once again, I typed in just AL like that, and then the space bar to expand that out. This is a brand new install of CodeRush, so you're going to see when I expand a template for the first time, the first couple times, you'll see an arrow here that points to it with the name of the template. Every time I use a feature for the first time in the new install, you'll see something like that. So we have this now here. Now with the caret here, you see the 3 dots underneath there, and that means I've got some options. One of them is declare controller. There are actually 2 declare controller code providers that are here. This one is the one built into CodeRush, and this is the one that's built into Visual Studio, as indicated by the icon here. So if you want to use this one, you can choose that, and you'll get the Visual Studio dialog. So if you want to use, and interact with the dialog, you can certainly do that. If you want to just to straight away create it without having a dialog, you can choose the one built into CodeRush, and it will build it for you. So here you can see what's happened here. Over here on this side, inside the controllers folder, we've added our new super controller. I probably shouldn't have called it super controller, but oh well, I did. And it's added an action for us as well called super click, because that corresponds to where we were over here inside of that. So now that that's there, I can now notice the squiggly line underneath there. This is that action. I'm sorry, this issue, the code issue that says we can declare an MVC view for this. So we can go ahead and say let's declare the view for that. So we can choose that, and here comes the add view. We'll just move that off to the side for now. We'll click on add. and there's the view that's been added for us. Okay, so we've got that. The super click has been created, and let's show tab to next reference. So here I'm on super controller. If I hit the tab key in here, it's going to take me there to the reference inside the string, and I can continue to hit the tab key and go to all the other references, but in this case there are only these two that exist right here. Also, I can hit the tab key from inside of this reference and go and jump to all the other references as well. Same thing with here. In here, if I'm on the action result and I hit the tab key, there I'm jumping. You can see jumping right over there into the super click. Okay, so that's how we can create an action link very quickly using the AL template. You also saw in that using CodeRush to declare the controller and to declare the view as well. A few other templates I'll run through and so you can see what they are here. We have, actually let me try, I just want to see if that exists. Oh, it does not. So to create a new comment, I'm going to actually do, this is kind of an on-the-fly thing right here. So Control-KC puts that in a comment. I'm going to take that, copy it to the clipboard, and I'm going to create a new template that's going to go in the next version of CodeRush. So the template I'm going to create, we'll put this under like raw HTML, whoops, right there. We'll create a new template. It's going to be ... for creating a comment, and the expansion is going to be this, and inside here we'll just put the caret. So for folks who are not familiar with templates, you've just seen me create a new template. We'll click OK, and let's see. Let's also make this so it only selects it only expands on an empty line. So we'll just make that one small enhancement to this piece here. So code line and then on empty line. There. Okay. So now if I'm here and I type in ... it'll give me a comment. That's what I want. Okay, so I just wanted to add a comment in here because what I wanted to do is I wanted to paste in the templates that will show you that you'll see here, so that you can actually see them and refer to them as I'm expanding them out here. So these are the templates, and see if I can get any more screen real estate on here. And can I get rid of this? Looks like don't lock. Apologize for this. Auto hide this brand new machine, and that's why I don't have that. There we go. Then we can get a little bit more space on screen. Okay, so we'll look at these templates. We'll just expand them as we see them right here in the list, and you can see how what they look like. So BF. Oops, got it. I've got I have caps lock on. There's BF. For begin form, BFA. For Ajax begin form, I have BN for an HTML button. Like that, so there's the HTML button version of that. I have BRF for begin route form. We'll scroll down a bit more. We've got CB for checkbox. Yeah, this 720 resolution is a little tricky here. Let me just move back a bit there, see just a little bit more on screen. There we go.
Hey, Mark, if you were to bring up the tool window, would it show those templates by any chance, or is there another place?
The CodeRush training window. You know, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Sometimes we put these in and there's not a synchronization between the two because with the training window, let's see what shows up inside of here. So we've got raw HTML and that's it. That's all we're showing. So wait, hold on. No, we do have them. Yes, the answer is yes, they are showing. So sometimes these don't show up because we have to actually come in and specify whether we want them to appear or not. And the reason why is because there are many templates that are out there, and we feel that if we put everything and show you everything that's available, it will be not helpful. So, okay, DDL for drop-down list. What else? E for editor for, FE for each loop. I want to see what FE does right here. I'm curious as to why that's in there. Oh, I see. Okay. So there's the for each loop. And H for hidden, we saw, it was in the list over there on the left, but there's hidden. If, yeah. So you can save a lot of keystrokes as you're going down these, as you're looking at these down here, right? Specifying these nuggets is generally a big slowdown, right, when you're doing this kind of, coding.
For MVC is very code heavy, and these are fantastic. I mean, especially that first one that you showed with the action link, because a lot of it is just as you start typing and you go, okay, well, what am I typing here, right? So even having those 3 parameters and having you take them, and then giving that ability to create the controllers and the views, I think it's going to be fantastic.
I think that particular template is very nice, especially in conjunction with some of those code providers. You get this sort of feeling that we're going to define our action link here, we're going to name the controller, and it's like almost putting a link onto the designer in a sense, in that when you double-click the link, or in this case, use one of our code providers, you're now driving through the design and saying, what will now happen when I invoke this? The best part about this, of course, is that code, instead of being put in the code behind in a form where we're all taught not to put it, it's being put in a controller, in a sensible place for that code to exist.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so we have thanks Mihal and Rory for both of those comments. So just a couple more through the list here. RB for radio button in there, and RP for render partial, and TB for text box, and then VS for validation summary. So those are the new templates that were added into 10.2. CodeRush 10.2. On the C# side of things, and also on the code side of things for both the C# and VB, there are some new attribute templates that we added. So, and I'm not familiar with where these go, where there were appropriate places for these. So, Mihal, go ahead, and if you have additional information as I expand these, let me know. But we have, here, I'll put them in here. So we have, actually, we use this template, which already exists, for C#, and I'll paste in these new attribute pieces. And so if we come in here now in VB, you'll type in, instead of the open angle bracket, instead of the open square bracket, you'll type in, like here, for example, for authorize, I type in AU like that, and I get this. And it brings up IntelliSense, and I can now specify the appropriate attribute for this. Mm-hmm. So in VB, you would use the angle bracket instead. Right. So you type in AU like this to get that to expand. So in C#, all you do is the open angle bracket AU space. One of the things that's cool about this template, and you can actually do this in your own templates, is it puts a dot in, and then it brings up IntelliSense for you automatically. And you can do that in your templates. I'll show you how you do that for people who are interested in seeing how that's done. So come over here, switch over to C#. Here's the last template expanded, and a little more space. So what we do is we put the dot, we put the caret right there. We say, here's where I want the caret to be, and then we call the complete word text command. And you can just see that right in here. It's right there. And so complete word is going to go into Visual Studio and say, bring up IntelliSense is what that's going to do. And so that's what's happening there. So what's nice about that is you don't have to hit the dot, you don't have to hit anything. You just, to bring up IntelliSense, it just happens automatically. Select the piece you want, hit enter. Okay. HE for handle error. It's a very quick way to get that attribute. Open bracket HP for HTTP post, and then in C# only is the RQ to get the require. Okay, so those are templates for creating the attributes. And then we also added templates for importing namespaces, and this may not be something that you need, but maybe you're creating a new file or something like that. It's generally not. This is not a feature that I need to use so often, because I've typically got all the namespaces I need, and if I want to create a new class, I create a class here, and then I use move type to file, which brings over all the necessary namespace imports into the new file. So I generally don't need these anymore, but these are consistent with some other templates that we have for adding namespace references. And the way it works is you type in the letter U and then the the abbreviation for it. For example, I can type in System Web MVC, and then that'll expand out to one of the several different choices that all begin with that. Notice MVC is actually not in the list here because we've already got MVC is being used up at the top here. So that's one way to bring that up. And then we also have an alternative for that, just with simply MVC. We can type in U MVC, which will do the same thing again, which just is an alias out to that still, System Web MVC. And then there are variations of that. You can add the letter A to the end of that to get AJAX, and add the letter H to the end of that to get HTML. So if I type in U, MVC, H, for example, it would give me the HTML one right there and expand. So just a quick way to add those using if you need those. And then with regards to creating new controllers, we have a CR template, which will create a new controller descendant. So you can use that to create a new controller if you want. And then inside, well, let's go ahead and keep that right here. And inside the controller, we have, for creating methods, you can type in use ACT to create a new action result. And then you can also use ACTP to create a new action result that's got that HTTP post attribute in front of it. Okay, so let's go through. I just want to go through my notes and make sure I've covered everything. Okay, so the only thing that I haven't really talked about is the structural highlighting that we're doing now inside the code of ASPX files, and so you can see a little bit of that here where we've got the ASP. These nodes going together. Let's see if I can find a larger file. This may be a little trickier. Take a little longer than I wanted to. So you can see what's in SiteMaster. Okay, so here you go. So we've got structural highlighting that's appearing now. So you've got these lines that are appearing up and down here, and that's a new feature in 10.2 as well for CodeRush. So with that, if there are, we'll kind of say, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in. Rory, I've been keeping my interface minimized, so I'd like you to you just monitor if you've got any questions out there.
With that, fairly all right so far. Nothing come up just yet.
All right, so I want to give you copy link address. All right, let's come over here and go into a browser. Let's maybe down here one. There we go.
What build is these features in right now? Is it in 10.2.5 already, or
yes, it's in 10. Yeah, everything I'm showing you is in 10.2. So let me do this. Let me bring up the chat window so everybody who is here can get this link. So this is a link to an XML file out there. Oh, come on! I want to download this. Is what I want to do. Hold on. What's the best way to download this to get this, make this so it's available for download?
You can right-click and view source it, and then save it out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a little bit lamer than I wanted to be on this. Do you think that's gonna preserve like?
Yes, it will preserve the formatting. This is one of the places where IE actually beats out Chrome, because IE actually renders it nicely. You know, it takes the XML and makes it all pretty, but.
I just want to download it and save it is what I want to do. I'm going to take this file and do a save as. What I feel like I need to do is get a quick blog post up here, and I wonder how quickly I can. What'd you say?
Right now, the quickest way would be to just say, select everything and put it into a notepad. Unfortunately, so.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, we can arrange for it to be on one of the blogs later on anyway.
There you go.
We'll do that. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to save this out. We'll put this in. We'll put this in this location. I'm just going to call it. I'm going to call this HTML. Let's see if this works. HTML MVC DX extensions. We'll say save. Then let's go in and we'll put this. I'll get this out in a blog post later. So what I've just put out here. These are the new templates for working with DevExpress extensions. DevExpress's MVC extensions. So let's go in to DevExpress options with that file saved out there, and I'm going to go into go into the HTML page, and I'm going to actually delete this piece that I've already got in here. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to say import templates. It's important to have language set to HTML when we do this. So they come in. And then I'm going to find that file. This is actually not that file. This is the file I uploaded. But I'll take this for now, and we'll assume that this is going to work on everybody else's end as well. So I'm going to click open on that. It's going to say it already exists, and I'll say replace templates in this folder. That's okay, because I'm actually putting them in a subfolder. So inside there, if you do that, you're going to get a folder called DevEx extensions. And if you open that up, you have inside here, there's 2 templates that are at the surface interesting. One of them is XRS. All these templates start with an X for the most part, with just a few exceptions. So XRS is going to be called render scripts, and XRSS is going to be called render style sheets. So we have those 2 templates are here. More interesting are the templates for creating controls. They all start with the letter X, and then you follow them, for example, with a B for button, a C for calendar, things like that, all the way down. So click OK. Once you've brought those in, you want to click OK, and that will now make those part of what we have out here. And now what we can do is we can go into the code, and let's see. And for example, here we have a calendar that's already, this is the file we were working in, but if we wanted to create a new calendar, we can just come in here and we can type in XC to create a new calendar, and it'll pop out like that. So saving us a lot of keystrokes. Specify the name of the calendar.
Very nice.
What'd you say?
Very nice.
Calendar, hit enter, and then
Helps
takes
with the
you...
whole, learning exactly what we need to do, because I'm betting that most of those templates are pretty intuitive. XI for image and various things like that you can guess at pretty easily.
Right. I have a list of these, which I'll put out on the blog. Let's just put it that way. But yes, the answer is yes on this. So you can do a lot of things are in here. So we'll go ahead and look at that list. Or you know where I'm trying to figure out where I have that list. Oh, I know. I actually have it on disk here. Let's see. Where is it? Let's see if I can bring it. School. Here we go. It's this. So this is what's going to come up on the is going to be up here, something that looks like this. So you can see what's going on here. CB for combo box, D for date edit, FU for file upload. There are also some other ones. So if we look at, for example, that one, XFU to do a file upload. Let's take a look at that, and something I want to show you on this. So XFU for file upload. When we do this, it creates an upload control for us. Right? So what we could also do is we could also remember it another way where we could say, instead of saying file upload, I could say X for the DevExpress extensions, and then use C for upload control, and that would also expand the same way. Specify the name of that, hit enter, come down here, you can change these properties. By the way, this is all linked together, so if you want to give this a different name, you can, like this, and it'll change it across all of those. So so those are there, and so I guess I would say expect a blog post from me on this in about 24 hours where I talk about these extensions that are here and what you get with them. Things like very complex things as well, like a splitter. So if you want to type in, create a new splitter, it's just you do something like this, and what you get is that code generated right there, which is a fair amount of code. Oh, actually, I want to show you a few other things too as well. So here's my splitter,
Mark,
right?
Sorry, can I
Yes.
hop in with a quick question that you have?
Yes.
How many characters can a template name have? Is there a limit?
There is no limit on it that I'm
I was
aware
going to say,
of.
if there was, I've never come across it.
No, if there's a limit, it's like
Pages.
100 or 200 characters, something crazy big. But I don't think there's a limit. Is the answer to that question?
I've pasted pages of code into a template and started changing little pieces of it to be dynamic with the expansion, and I've never hit that limit. Whatever it might be.
I may have answered a different question than what was asked. I was answering what I thought was the question was a template name. So the name of a template
template name
can be very big, like I think easily 128 characters, maybe more. I don't know that we actually set a limit on it.
I've certainly used sort of medium length phrases like new code provider with such and such when I couldn't be bothered to make up an acronym, but the phrase itself was still very short compared to the code it would generate.
I see. What we do sometimes is we create, with regards to the templates, we create system templates with longer names. So if I were to change the language over here to C#, for example, and let me close this down. Let's go into properties. Oh, declarations, I guess, and then inside declarations, let's see what's going on here in system. This will probably be a good example here. New instances system. So here are examples of longer template names right here. Generic, new, no args, specified, inside pounds. So if this is the first time you're seeing this and you haven't seen any demos on templates, a couple things to explain. One is the pound sign on either side indicates, it's our convention for indicating a system template. The purpose of it is to avoid collision. For example, if you had a variable called generic new no arg specified and you type that in and hit the space bar, this bit in here would expand. One of these three alternate expansions would expand, one of these three. But by putting the pound sign on either side, it effectively reduces the chance of an accidental expansion because you actually have something like this in the code. Because inside C#, that's just not something that you're going to see as in an identifier, right? So we'll use long descriptive names for system templates, and what's going on is these are simply called by other templates. So somewhere there's another template calling this one. In fact, this one actually calls out to another one called new generic selected args. It calls out to this template. So that's what's going on there. You can right-click and chase and actually jump to it. Now we're inside of that template. You can see what's going on here. So there's a great deal of decoupling and I guess you'd almost call separation of concerns going on inside our definition and declaration for templates, and as a result there's also a great deal of reuse. So this piece is reused by a number of other templates, and that keeps things concise and also allows you to go in and make a change in one place and it'll affect everywhere else where that logical bit of code is being generated everywhere else. So it's also, of course, easy to make templates without all this complexity and decoupling. You can do that as well very easily, but for the pieces we ship, this is what we do because it helps things out for customers and tech support, things like that. So, okay, so yeah, the example with the splitter there. There's an example where you've got you've got a bunch of code that's being created here for you. We drop markers inside here at key points, so when you want to fill in the content for this, you can just hit escape and specify the content for pane 1, escape again, content for pane 2, and finally hit escape to get to the end of that whole piece. That collect marker arrow is going to go away soon because I'm almost done. By the way, whoever's got their microphone on and typing, just mute your microphone, please, so we keep that the sound as clean as possible. So I wanted to show you a couple other things in these new templates that I think are interesting. Let's go back over into HTML and we go to let's see which ones I wanted to look at here. Let's do this. Let's do a search for items and clicking this button to search inside of them. So what do we have here? We have a combo box. Okay, so let's do that. We'll start with the combo box. And so we'll say XCB for a combo box. And I'll hit enter here. Here's my first item. I hit enter, come out here. And now I'm going to add a new item, so I'm going to type in items add. Specify the next one. Oh, it's supposed to be settings up properties. Let's do that. Copy that to the clipboard. Try one more time. IA. There we go. So, and then second, like that. And so with that on the clipboard now I can type in IA all the way down here and very quickly add the items, right? So it works with what's on the clipboard. So I'm going to just copy the piece that has the items property on it. And that works with a number of the extensions that are out there. So for example, we go back in and look at those that are here. I've got IA for items add. We've got NA for nodes add for like working with a tree node. PA for panes add, so if you want to add another pane to this splitter. And then TA for tab pages add, and also an alias to that, TPA for tab pages add, so TPA. So we can show some of those. So let's create a something with nodes, which is a tree view, which I think is going to be XTV, like that. So here's my tree view that I've just expanded and created, and there's my width. Here I've created the node and the child node. And what I can do is I can say, well, let's take node and copy it to the clipboard. Just hit the copy key there, and then I type in NA for nodes add, right? And it gives me this piece right here. And or I can type in, I can grab the subnode and put that on the clipboard and type in NA as well, and it'll then add it off of the subnode. The only thing I'm noticing here is we need to make this a field in that. So let me fix that real quickly. And so we have that. And as you have a sense here that we're going to, so to make that a field, I'm going to copy that to clipboard, come in here, choose field, add some parens, and pass it in as a parameter. Looks like I got rid of the D there for the end of my field. And so we'll do that. That's if the clipboard has an identifier. Let's do one other thing if it does not. On empty line. Put that in there. So that's how we put a field there. We already have another field there, so that field will get focused first, then this one will get it secondarily. Click OK. And now we'll do that one more time. So we'll come down in here, copy node to the clipboard, come down in here and say, or actually not node. We can type in set. We can just go here, start with settings on the clipboard, and then type in NA for node add, and then hit enter. We come down here, subnode. I'm okay with that. Copy that to the clipboard. Type in NA again, and now we're creating a grandchild node here. So we'll specify grandchild. Hit enter here. We come back over here, and we'll say grandchild here. Grandchild node. And hit enter. And so we can build nodes up in that manner. So so those are the templates I intend to document these new templates on my blog sometime, like I said, within the next 24 hours, and have a link to those with the changes and instructions for bringing them in and importing them in, so people who are using the DevExpress extensions can make use of those. And what was the other thing I was going to say on that? Oh, we plan to roll those into the next release, the 11.1 release of CodeRush. And with that, I am open to any other questions or anything else, Rory or Mihal, you would like me to add.
I think that's great.
Yeah, that was really, I mean, and I think what's important to note here is that, you know, we've tried to include all the sort of the basic default stuff that you'll need in that settings sort of fluent HTML that you got going there, but it's completely expandable, as Mark just showed, and these are really great templates. Okay.
All right, so Amanda, get us out of here. Next time, hey, I think next time, Roy, I think we're building, oh wait, maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say, I know we're going to be building plugins soon. It's either next time or the time after that. Amanda, do you know what to do?
That'll be soon now.
Let's see.
Advanced text commands next time.
Okay, so it's not bad. We're getting deeper.
And then the very next one, 22nd of March, creating CodeRush plugins.
All right, so stay tuned for that. If you're watching this recorded, those may already be out. So advanced text commands. So that'll be it. We're going to dive into templates and create some really cool text commands, or maybe not create them, but exploit them, the existing ones. And then after that, Rory and I are moving into extending Visual Studio with plugins, and I can imagine that going on for quite some time. So you have to, when I say sometime, I mean weeks. Every week we'll do and focus on a different area, and you know, bring your feature requests or your questions, whatever you want to see done. We will dive in and go into a lot of depth there in the plugin building seminars that we do. So look forward to those.
Awesome.
And with that, Amanda, I pass it over to you. I got you out like in 40 minutes.
I can't believe it. It's a miracle.
Not bad.
It's not bad. Not bad. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rory, for being here as well, and Mehul. All right, so we have several webinars still coming up this week. Visit devexpress.com/webinars to register, but here's a quick glance. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., using annotations in WinForms charts. with charting evangelist Brian Wood. See how your charts can benefit from annotations, including customization of placement and layout. And Thursday at 10 a.m., ask the DevExpress reporting team with reporting evangelist Seth Juarez an open Q&A on reports. And finally this week, Friday at 10 a.m., XAF UI customizations with our XAF XPO evangelist Gary Short. Everyone has their own tastes and requirements when it comes to UI design, and in this webinar, Gary will show you how to customize the default application templates if your tastes don't quite match ours. We have a, I know, right?
Is that even possible? Seriously.
I don't write these things, I just say them.
Sorry, man, I'm not on my medication today.
That's okay. You're on medication? I didn't know that. We have a great lineup of webinars that are coming up through March. Like Mark said, every Tuesday coming up in March, they've got new CodeRush webinars coming out, so you can visit devexpress.com/webinars and register away. So if you missed anything from this webinar, or you want to review any previous webinars or check out hundreds of product tutorials, you can visit us on the DevExpress channel at tv.devexpress.com. Again, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rory and Mehul. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for choosing DevExpress.
All right, well, I will, with no other questions in the